Ladies, have you ever felt like you were giving everything in a relationship but getting little in return? Do you sometimes wonder why your efforts to please him, adapt to his world, or avoid conflict seem to backfire? Maybe you're asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why does it feel like I'm losing control of my own life while trying to make him happy? Here's the truth. Relationships are not about sacrifice, they're about balance, growth, and mutual respect. Yet countless women unknowingly fall into traps that diminish their individuality and power. They adjust their lives, routines, and dreams for men who may not even deserve such devotion. But here's the exciting part. You can rewrite this narrative. By understanding 9 transformative principles rooted in Dark Stoic psychology and timeless wisdom, you can reclaim your sense of self while fostering a deeper, more authentic connection with the man in your life. This isn't about manipulation or putting on a show. It's about embracing your individuality, setting boundaries, and becoming the vibrant, self-assured woman that no man can resist. We'll explore what you should stop doing, not because it pleases him, but because it empowers you. Imagine the relief of finally stepping into a relationship that feels fulfilling, exciting, and true to who you are. Stay with me because this journey could change everything. In this first part, we'll unlock the key to what might be holding you back, shaping your life to fit someone else. Let's dive in. 1. Don't reshape your life to fit others. Picture this. You're a bold, vibrant woman with unique passions, quirks, and dreams. You meet a man and slowly, without realizing it, you begin to mold yourself into someone he wants. You adjust your routine, suppress your interests, and even change the way you speak or dress to align with his preferences. Sounds familiar? Here's the catch. While you think you're building intimacy, you're actually eroding the very qualities that make you irresistible. Why do we do this? Often it stems from the fear of rejection or a misplaced belief that compromise equals love. But there's a thin line between healthy adjustment and losing yourself. As the Stoicism philosophy teaches us, true fulfillment comes from staying grounded in who we are, not from bending to fit someone else's mold. When you reshape your life to fit his, you're essentially giving up pieces of your puzzle to match his, and before long, your identity feels scattered and incomplete. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle with mismatched pieces. It's frustrating, isn't it? That's exactly what happens in relationships where one partner loses themselves trying to conform. Dark Stoic psychology emphasizes the importance of self-respect and authenticity. When you prioritize these qualities, you radiate confidence, a magnetic energy that draws men in effortlessly. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you unapologetically pursued something you loved, even if it didn't align with his interests? Have you given up a cherished hobby, a friendship, or even a career move because you worried it might create distance between you? It's time to stop. The man who's worth your time and love doesn't want a chameleon who blends into his world. He wants a star who shines in her own sky. He'll admire you more when he sees your independence and commitment to what lights your soul on fire. And if he doesn't, then he's not the one. As Seneca, a great mind of Stoicism, once said, everywhere means nowhere. If you spread yourself thin trying to be everything to him, you lose your direction and become lost. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not for him, but for you. Celebrate what makes you unique and let those qualities flourish. Do you love painting, hiking, writing, or playing the guitar? Make time for it. Your passions and interests are not negotiable, they're what make you captivating. So here's your challenge. Take one small step today to reclaim a part of yourself you've sidelined for him. It could be as simple as reviving a long-forgotten hobby or reaching out to a friend you've drifted from. Stand tall in your authenticity and watch as he becomes more intrigued by the woman you're becoming. Because here's the thing. Men aren't drawn to perfection or sameness, they're drawn to passion, purpose, and individuality. To be the woman who inspires him not by changing for him, but by showing him how fiercely you love your life. Ready to embrace this shift? Good, because we've only just begun. Up next, we'll tackle another common trap, letting your life revolve around him. Stay tuned, it's about to get even better. 2. Don't let your life revolve around him. Let's play a little game of imagination. Picture your life as a solar system. You, the dazzling sun, radiate energy, warmth, and light. Around you are planets, your passions, dreams, relationships, and hobbies, each orbiting in perfect harmony. Now imagine you meet someone special, but instead of keeping your orbit intact, you allow him to become your sun. Slowly, your life starts revolving around him, and before you know it, your entire solar system is thrown out of balance. Sound familiar? This is one of the most common yet unnoticed traps women fall into, letting their life revolve solely around a man. And while it might feel romantic at first, this imbalance can lead to a loss of identity, passion, and ultimately attraction. Because here's the hard truth. A life consumed by someone else isn't appealing, it's suffocating for you and for him. The problem starts innocently enough. You prioritize his needs, rearrange your schedule to match his, or spend every free moment with him. You tell yourself this is what love looks like. But is it? Or are you slowly losing sight of the woman you once were, the woman he likely fell for in the first place? Men are naturally drawn to mystery and independence. When you have your own dreams, goals, and interests, you're magnetic. Now, because your life doesn't depend on him, it complements him. But when you sacrifice your individuality to revolve around his world, the dynamic changes. He might start to feel smothered, or worse, take you for granted. As Dark Stoic Psychology teaches, true fulfillment comes from inner balance and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can a person find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in their own soul." Your dreams and passions are part of that soul. When you let them fade, you lose the essence of who you are, and your relationship suffers for it. Ask yourself, when was the last time you pursued a personal goal without consulting him? Have you ever skipped something important to you because he needed you to? Is there a hobby or passion you've abandoned since you started seeing him? If any of this resonates, it's time to reframe your mindset. Your relationship should be like two strong trees growing side by side, not one tree leaning entirely on the other. Roots must stay strong and separate, even as branches intertwine. So how do you reclaim your orbit? Reignite your passions. Dedicate time each week to something you love. Whether it's painting, yoga, volunteering, or writing that novel you've dreamed about, make it a priority. Your life is richer when it's filled with your own pursuits. Set boundaries. It's okay to say no sometimes. You don't have to be available 24/7. A little distance creates longing and appreciation. Celebrate your independence. Spend time with friends, family, or even just yourself. Go to that movie you've been dying to see, or plan a solo adventure. A confident woman who values her independence is irresistible. Men aren't looking for someone who sacrifices everything for them. They're looking for a partner who inspires them, someone who lives her life with passion and purpose. By keeping your orbit intact, you become the sun in your own solar system, and that light will draw him closer than ever. Now, here's your chance to reflect. What's one thing you've set aside for him that you can reclaim this week? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear what sparks your passion and how you plan to reignite it. And if this insight hit home for you, show some love by hitting the like button. Your support helps us create more content that empowers women to embrace their strength, independence, and authenticity. Let's keep this conversation alive, because the best is yet to come. Stay tuned for the next point, where we'll explore the importance of protecting your mental health and happiness in a relationship. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. 3. Don't compromise your mental health or happiness. Let's talk about something many women silently endure but rarely discuss: the subtle ways a relationship can erode their mental health and happiness. It starts with small sacrifices, missing a gym session here, skipping a self-care day there. Soon you're pouring every ounce of energy into pleasing him, and before you realize it, you're left feeling drained, unfulfilled, and even resentful. Does this sound familiar? Here's the hard truth. Prioritizing someone else's happiness over your own is not love, it's self-neglect. Now think of your happiness as a precious lantern in the dark. If you give it away, you're left stumbling through the shadows. A healthy relationship should add light to your life, not take it away. Many women feel that catering to a man's needs, whether emotional or practical, is their duty. They suppress their own feelings, smile when they want to cry, and say yes when they desperately want to say no. But at what cost? The philosophy of Stoicism reminds us that we have control over our minds but not over the actions of others. Your mental health and inner peace are treasures that belong solely to you. When you sacrifice them for someone else, you surrender control of your own well-being, leaving yourself vulnerable to emotional turbulence. Think about this. When you're constantly giving and not receiving, how does it impact your self-worth? Do you feel seen, appreciated, and valued, or invisible and exhausted? Mental health is not just about avoiding sadness, it's about maintaining balance and joy in your daily life. A partner who truly loves you will support your happiness, not demand it at the expense of your own well-being. So how can you safeguard your mental health while nurturing a relationship? Recognize the signs of emotional overload. Do you find yourself feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or irritable after spending time with him? Are you constantly second-guessing yourself? These are warning signs that something needs to change. Reclaim your time and energy. Make space for activities that nourish your soul. Whether it's meditating, reading, or dancing to your favorite playlist, prioritize moments that recharge your mental and emotional batteries. Set emotional boundaries. You are not his therapist, fixer, or savior. Supporting your partner is important, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. Establish clear boundaries to protect your emotional health. Check in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself, am I happy? Am I thriving? If the answer is no, take steps to realign your priorities. Your happiness is not a luxury, it's a necessity. In the teachings of Dark Stoic Psychology, there's an emphasis on resilience and self-preservation. Life will always bring challenges, but how you protect your inner peace determines your strength. Just as you wouldn't hand someone your wallet and expect them to manage your finances, don't hand over your mental health for someone else to manage. When you nurture your own joy and well-being, something remarkable happens. You show up in your relationship as your best self, confident, content, and magnetic. A man who truly values you will celebrate this strength, not diminish it. Remember, love is not about giving away all of yourself. It's about sharing your life with someone in a way that elevates you both. Your mental health is the foundation of that balance. Protect it fiercely. As we move forward, we'll explore another critical aspect of relationships, the importance of maintaining connections with friends and family, even when you're deeply in love. Stay tuned, because these truths are only getting more powerful. 4. Don't push friends or family away for him. Love has a way of making the world feel smaller, doesn't it? When you're swept up in the intensity of a new romance, it can feel like you found everything you need in one person. It's thrilling, all-encompassing, and intoxicating. But there's a tendency to pull away from the people who have been your foundation long before he came into your life. Your friends and family are like the roots of a tree, grounding you, nurturing you, and giving you strength. Yet in the haze of infatuation, it's easy to let those connections weaken. Maybe you've canceled plans with friends to spend time with them. Perhaps you've started keeping your distance from family because they don't quite get the relationship. Over time, these small decisions can add up, leaving you isolated and disconnected from the very people who love you unconditionally. It's a common mistake, believing that prioritizing a romantic relationship means sacrificing everything else. But here's the truth. A healthy partnership doesn't require you to abandon your support system. In fact, a strong support network enriches your relationship by giving you perspective, emotional stability, and a sense of balance. Think about the people who've been there for you through thick and thin. Your best friend who always listens without judgment. Your siblings who've shared your triumphs and tears. Your parents who've offered advice and encouragement in ways only they can. These are the people who help shape who you are, who keep you anchored when life feels uncertain. Now imagine pushing them away for the sake of one person. What happens if the relationship falters? Who do you turn to when you've distanced yourself from the very people who were always in your corner? This isn't just about preserving friendships or family ties, it's about preserving your identity. The people in your life reflect different facets of who you are. Losing those connections is like losing parts of yourself. And let's be honest, no one person, no matter how wonderful, can fulfill every emotional need or understand every piece of your story. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us the importance of balance and gratitude. By nurturing relationships beyond your romantic one, you create a life that is full, diverse, and resilient. A partner should complement your life, not consume it. So how do you strike this balance? First, make time for the people who matter to you. Call your best friend, schedule lunch with a sibling, or plan a weekend visit with your parents. These small gestures go a long way in maintaining meaningful connections. Second, set boundaries in your romantic relationship. It's okay to say, I need a night out with the girls, or this weekend, I want to focus on family. A man who truly values you will respect your independence and encourage you to maintain these bonds. And lastly, reflect on the role these relationships play in your life. Your friends and family are more than a safety net. They're a source of joy, wisdom, and unconditional love. They remind you of your worth, even when you forget it yourself. When you invest in these connections, you not only enrich your own life, but also strengthen your relationship. A man who sees you as part of a thriving, interconnected world will respect you more deeply. He'll understand that you are not just his partner, but a multifaceted, independent woman who values her life outside of the relationship. Keep your roots strong, your branches wide, and your heart open. Love doesn't have to mean giving up the people who've helped you grow. It should mean bringing them along on your journey. And when you do, you'll find that your relationship feels more grounded, more balanced, and more beautiful than ever. Up next, we'll explore the importance of time, how it's your most valuable asset, and why you should protect it fiercely. The lessons only get richer from here. 5. Don't invest too much time in him. Time, it's the one resource you can never get back. Every minute you spend is a piece of your life, gone forever. So let me ask you, how are you spending yours? Are you pouring countless hours into someone who might not even value them? Are you giving away the most precious resource you have without asking yourself if it's worth it? When you invest too much time in a man, you're not just giving him your hours, you're giving him your energy, your focus, and pieces of your identity. It might feel noble to dedicate yourself to his world, to be available at all times, to make him the center of your schedule. But over time, this one-sided dynamic starts to take a toll. Men are naturally drawn to women who value themselves and their time. Why? Because when you guard your time with intention, it signals that you respect yourself. A woman who is constantly at someone's beck and call, however, sends the opposite message, that her time isn't valuable and that she's willing to give it away freely, even if it's not reciprocated. This doesn't mean you should withhold your presence to play games or manipulate. It's about balance. If you find yourself skipping personal projects, neglecting self-care, or canceling plans with friends to accommodate his schedule, it's time to reevaluate. Ask yourself, do I feel like I'm sacrificing my goals to make room for his? Am I investing my time into someone who doesn't invest back? Do I feel fulfilled in the way I spend my days, or am I simply waiting for his attention? The Stoicism philosophy teaches to focus on what we can control. Your time is one of those things. It's finite, it's yours, and it's your responsibility to use it wisely. When you're thoughtful about how you spend your time, you elevate your life. And the best part, men notice. A man worth your time will respect your independence and admire the way you prioritize your passions. So what can you do? First, reclaim your calendar. Start dedicating specific blocks of time to your hobbies, career goals, and friendships. Set clear boundaries with your partner about when you're available and when you're focused on your own life. Second, make sure the time you spend with him is meaningful. Instead of endlessly texting, scrolling through social media together, or sitting in silence, create experiences that matter. Go on adventures, have deep conversations, or work on shared goals. Quality time always trumps quantity. Lastly, don't be afraid to say no. If he asks for more than you can give, it's okay to set limits. A man who truly values you will understand that your time is a reflection of your priorities, and he'll rise to meet you there. Now let me ask you, what's one way you can reclaim your time this week? Maybe it's signing up for that class you've always wanted to take. Maybe it's dedicating a full Sunday to self-care. Whatever it is, commit to it and watch how it transforms not just your life, but your relationship. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to managing your time and relationships? Let's start a conversation about how we can empower ourselves to live more balanced, fulfilling lives. And if you're finding value in these insights, tap that like button to show your support. It helps us create more content like this for women who are ready to reclaim their power and build relationships that truly enrich their lives. Stay tuned. Next, we'll uncover the importance of safeguarding your personal story and why not every piece of your past should be shared. It's a lesson you won't want to miss. 6. Don't reveal everything about your past. Your past is a rich tapestry of experiences, emotions, and lessons. It's what has shaped you into the remarkable woman you are today. But here's a truth that's both simple and profound. Not every piece of that tapestry needs to be displayed. Not every thread needs to be unraveled for someone else to examine. When you open up about every detail of your past, especially the most painful or vulnerable moments, you hand over a piece of your power. Vulnerability is essential in relationships, yes, but it must be shared with caution and intention. There's a difference between opening your heart and leaving it unguarded. Stoicism philosophy teaches us the value of discernment, of knowing what to share and what to hold close. Some aspects of your past are deeply personal. They are your scars, your triumphs, your private battles. These aren't things to be shared lightly or with someone who hasn't earned your trust and respect. Think about it. When you reveal too much too soon, you risk not only feeling exposed, but also being misunderstood. People interpret our stories through their own perspectives, and not everyone has the capacity to hold your truth with the care it deserves. Worse still, the wrong person might use your openness against you, twisting your words or exploiting your vulnerability. Sharing your past is like giving someone the keys to a part of your soul. Those keys should never be handed out carelessly. The right man will take time to earn your trust. He'll respect the pace at which you choose to reveal your story. Understanding that your past is not a commodity to be consumed, but a treasure to be carefully uncovered. So how do you decide what to share and when? Start by asking yourself, does he need to know this about me right now? Has he shown me that he is trustworthy and emotionally mature? Am I sharing this to build a deeper connection, or am I seeking validation or sympathy? If the answer to any of these questions gives you pause, hold back. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that your story is treated with respect. Instead, focus on sharing what strengthens the bond between you. Talk about your dreams, your current passions, and the lessons that have shaped your values. These aspects of your life are just as meaningful and revealing as your past struggles, but they keep the focus on who you are now, rather than what you've endured. And remember, not everyone deserves access to your most personal truths. Sharing your story is a privilege, not a right, and it should be given only to those who have proven themselves worthy of your trust. As you navigate this delicate balance, you'll find a sense of empowerment. You'll see that by safeguarding your past, you're also safeguarding your future. You're creating a foundation of respect, both for yourself and within the relationship. In the teachings of Dark Stoic Psychology, there's a quiet strength in knowing what to withhold. The mysteries you choose to keep are not barriers but boundaries, lines that protect your essence and preserve your dignity. Your life story is yours alone. Share it with care, with intention, and only with those who truly deserve it. When you do, you'll find that the right man won't just listen. He'll honor what you've shared and cherish the privilege of knowing you on such a deep level. As we move forward, we'll explore the power of authenticity and why it's essential to stand firm in your desires instead of simply agreeing to satisfy someone else. Stay with me, there's so much more to uncover. 7. Don't always agree to satisfy him. Picture this. You're sitting across from him at dinner, and he suggests something you're not entirely on board with. Maybe it's a restaurant you don't like, a vacation spot you're not thrilled about, or even an opinion you don't agree with. But instead of voicing your true feelings, you nod, smile, and say, "Sure, that sounds great." You tell yourself it's easier this way, that avoiding conflict keeps the peace. But deep down, a small piece of you feels compromised. It's a slippery slope, isn't it? At first, these little agreements seem harmless, but over time they pile up. You find yourself suppressing your preferences, ignoring your instincts, and agreeing to things that don't align with who you are. Before long, you become a shadow in the relationship there, but without substance, without voice. The truth is, always saying yes doesn't build harmony, it builds resentment. Resentment towards him, yes, but more importantly, towards yourself. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from integrity, living in alignment with your values and beliefs. That when you abandon your true desires just to satisfy someone else, you step out of that alignment, and it chips away at your self-worth. Now let's address the fear behind this habit. Many women agree to things they don't want because they're afraid of rejection or conflict. They worry that saying no will make them seem difficult or unlovable. But here's the thing. A man who values you will respect your honesty, not resent it. Saying no or expressing a differing opinion doesn't push the right man away, it draws him closer. Why? Because it shows him that you're confident enough to be yourself even when it's not convenient or easy. Now think about it. Would you respect someone who agrees with you all the time, no matter what? Or are you more drawn to people who have their own perspectives, their own boundaries, and the courage to voice them? The same principle applies to relationships. Authenticity is far more attractive than blind agreement. So how do you break this cycle? Start small. The next time you feel tempted to agree just to avoid conflict, pause. Ask yourself, is this truly what I want? If the answer is no, say so kindly but firmly. Practice phrases like, "I see your point, but I feel differently about this," or "That's an interesting idea, but it's not quite what I had in mind." The beauty of this approach is that it fosters genuine communication. When you express your true feelings, you open the door to deeper understanding and connection. And you give him the chance to know the real you, the woman who has her own mind, her own desires, and her own boundaries. And here's something powerful to remember. Saying no doesn't make you difficult, it makes you discerning. It shows that you respect yourself enough to honor your feelings. This kind of self-respect is magnetic, and it sets the tone for a relationship built on mutual honesty and trust. In the framework of Dark Stoic Psychology, this principle is clear. You are responsible for your own happiness. When you live authentically, when you act in alignment with your true self, you take ownership of your life. You're no longer a passenger in your relationship, you're a co-pilot, steering the course with confidence and clarity. The next time you feel the urge to agree just to satisfy him, remember this. Your voice matters. Your preferences matter. You matter. And the man who truly loves you will embrace all of it, not just the parts that are easy, but the parts that challenge and inspire him to grow as well. As we move on, we'll explore the fear of solitude and how it can lead to settling for less than you deserve. It's a transformative topic that will help you embrace your independence and attract the right kind of connection. Stay with me, this journey is only getting better. 8. Don't be controlled by the fear of solitude. Let's be honest, being alone can feel uncomfortable. Society often romanticizes relationships so much that solitude can start to seem like failure. Have you ever stayed in a relationship longer than you should have simply because the thought of being alone felt unbearable? Have you ever settled for less than you deserve just to avoid the quiet echo of your own company? If so, you're not alone. The fear of solitude is a powerful force, one that can lead to unfulfilling relationships and even self-abandonment. But here's the secret. Solitude is not your enemy. In fact, when embraced, it becomes one of your greatest allies. When you make decisions driven by the fear of being alone, you're giving up control. You might find yourself accepting treatment that doesn't align with your worth or clinging to a partner who doesn't truly make you happy. But ask yourself, what's scarier? facing solitude or living a life where you compromise your happiness and settle for something less than extraordinary. The philosophy of Stoicism reminds us that true contentment comes from within. Aristotle once said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Time spent alone is not a void, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to learn who you are, what you want, and how to build a life that fulfills you. When you embrace solitude, you stop looking for someone else to complete you and instead become whole on your own. Think of it like this. When you learn to be comfortable in your own standards naturally rise. You no longer accept relationships that drain you because you know you're already enough. You become more selective, more confident, and ultimately more magnetic to the right kind of partner. So how can you overcome the fear of solitude? First, redefine what it means to be alone. Solitude isn't emptiness, it's freedom. It's the space to explore your passions, nurture your mental health, and connect with yourself on a deeper level. Start small. Take yourself on a solo date, spend a weekend unplugged, or pick up a hobby that's just for you. These moments of solitude are not time wasted, they are investments in your future. Second, remind yourself of your worth. Being single doesn't mean you're unlovable or lacking. It means you're waiting for the right person who truly complements your life. And that's worth the wait, isn't it? Remember, it's better to be alone than to lose yourself in a relationship that doesn't honor your value. Finally, let's reframe the fear of solitude into a source of strength. When you embrace being alone, you send a powerful message to yourself and others. I am enough. This mindset not only empowers you but also makes you more attractive to the kind of partner who sees your independence as a strength, not a threat. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you'd love to do alone but have hesitated to try? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know how you're planning to embrace your independence. And if this message resonates with you, show your support by hitting that like button. Together, we can inspire more women to rediscover the power of solitude and raise their standards for love and life. Stay tuned, because next we'll celebrate something beautiful, the importance of recognizing and honoring your small victories. It's a lesson that will leave you feeling empowered and ready to take on the world. You won't want to miss it. 9. Don't forget to celebrate even small wins. Life often feels like a race to the next big milestone, the next promotion, the next trip, the next grand achievement. In relationships, this mindset can seep in, making us focus solely on the major victories. Anniversaries, shared milestones, or big decisions. But what about the small, everyday moments? The ones that often go unnoticed yet hold so much significance. When you overlook the small wins, whether in your personal growth or within your relationship, you miss out on an incredible opportunity to build confidence, gratitude, and connection. These moments, though seemingly minor, are the threads that weave the fabric of a fulfilling life. Think about the last time you handled a difficult situation with grace, communicated your feelings clearly, or made time for something that nourished your soul. Did you pause to acknowledge these moments? Or did you dismiss them as insignificant? The truth is, every small win is a sign of progress. They are markers of your resilience, your ability to navigate life's complexities, and your commitment to living authentically. Stoicism teaches us that life is lived moment by moment, and that true happiness comes not from grand gestures, but from appreciating the beauty in small, meaningful victories. In relationships, celebrating small wins can strengthen your bond in profound ways. It's not just about commemorating big anniversaries, it's about recognizing the little things. The kind words spoken during a tough day, the effort to spend quality time together, or the patience shown in the face of misunderstanding. These small acts build trust, intimacy, and a deeper sense of partnership. But this isn't just about what happens within the relationship. It's also about what you achieve as an individual. Did you prioritize self-care this week? Did you stick to a boundary you recently set? Did you take a step toward a personal goal, no matter how small? These moments deserve acknowledgement too. When you celebrate your small wins, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, strong, and worthy of joy. Imagine what your life would look like if you celebrated these moments instead of dismissing them. how much more fulfilled and confident would you feel? How would it shift your perspective, not just about your relationship, but about yourself? To start embracing this practice, take a moment each day to reflect on your wins. Write them down, speak them aloud, or simply hold them in your heart with gratitude. Whether it's successfully navigating a challenging conversation, trying something new, or simply choosing rest when you needed it, these moments matter. And remember, the act of celebration doesn't have to be grand. It could be as simple as treating yourself to your favorite dessert, sharing your achievement with a loved one, or taking a quiet moment to reflect and smile. The key is to honor the progress you're making step by step, moment by moment. The teachings of Dark Stoic Psychology state there is immense power in finding joy in the process rather than fixating solely on the outcome. The journey itself is where life unfolds, and each small victory along the way adds depth and meaning to your story. So don't wait for the big moments to feel proud or fulfilled. Life is happening now, in the small steps forward, the quiet triumphs, and the subtle shifts in perspective. Celebrate them. They are the foundation of a life well lived and a love that lasts. As we close this journey through the 9 things women should not do with men, remember that the heart of each lesson lies in self-respect, authenticity, and balance. When you honor yourself, you naturally create relationships that reflect your worth. And that, more than anything else, is the essence of a truly fulfilling connection. Congratulations, you've journeyed through the 9 transformative principles that every woman should embrace to foster meaningful, balanced, and empowering relationships. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. These lessons aren't just about navigating love. They're about reclaiming your individuality, protecting your peace, and thriving in all aspects of life. I think about the power behind these principles. Imagine how your relationships and your life would transform if you stopped reshaping yourself for someone else, refused to let fear guide your choices, and celebrated every small victory along the way. Imagine standing firm in your values, voicing your desires unapologetically, and fostering a love that uplifts and energizes you. Here's the truth. You have the power to shape your relationships. By living authentically, protecting your time and energy, and embracing solitude when necessary, you create a life where love complements you rather than consumes you. This journey isn't about playing games or following rules. It's about living in alignment with who you are and attracting the kind of connection that mirrors your worth. As we've learned, Stoicism and the wisdom of Dark Stoic Psychology emphasize resilience, self-awareness, and intentionality. These philosophies remind us that true freedom in relationships and in life comes from within. When you master your thoughts, honor your emotions, and live authentically, you create a foundation for relationships that are both fulfilling and enduring. Now it's your turn. Take these principles and apply them in your own life. Start small. Maybe it's setting a boundary, reconnecting with a friend, or simply acknowledging a win from today. Every step forward matters. Every decision to honor yourself brings you closer to the love and life you deserve. If this journey has resonated with you, share it with someone who might need these lessons. Let's create a ripple effect of empowered women who embrace their worth and inspire others to do the same. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this transformative exploration. Remember, you are the protagonist of your own story. Embrace your power, live authentically, and never settle for less than the extraordinary. Until next time, stay strong, stay true, and stay radiant.